Hi, welcome, and thank you for being here. This is Eat, Play, Live with me, Andy P., the show that's chasing dreams and crushing goals. My goal here is to help you live a healthier, happier, more balanced life, whatever that looks like to you. What goals or dreams are you reaching for? I really hope that you are getting out of your own damn way and pursuing those. But sometimes things happen, right? And what if in the midst of that pursuit, you know what you want, you know what you're going for, but all of a sudden something goes wrong, something unexpected just gets in the way, okay? Imagine, what if your dream has always been to be a public speaker, right? Because everybody wants to be a public speaker, right? Actually, I think that's the number one fear, right? Before or right after death. But anyway, use your imagination here. You've always wanted to be a public speaker, and all of a sudden you wake up and you have no voice forever. It's just gone. You cannot speak. So that's it, right? The dream's over. There's nothing you can do. You might as well just give up. Okay, well, how about this? Let's imagine it's not you, it's your best friend that this has happened to. It's their dream. What would you say to your friend? How would you encourage them? What kind of advice would you give your friend besides, give up? It's interesting, isn't it? How when we think about what we would tell somebody else, it totally changes the dialogue. It changes our perspective, right? Because we can't stand to see each other give up. But yet, when it's us, that's another story. We're so quick, that chatter in our brain can just knock us around and tell us, you might as well walk away. Did you really even think you had what it takes? Yeah, well, okay, later in the show, we're going to talk very specifically about a little trick that I've learned to shut down that kind of stinking thinking. And it's actually super simple. But first, let's talk about some more roadblocks to reaching our goals and what we can do about them. And because this is Eat, Play, Live, we always start with eating. So let's start by talking about your target weight goals. Whether your goal is to lose fat or to gain muscle, the real progress toward any of these goals happens in the kitchen, right? So what are your roadblocks to eating better? Let me guess. Okay, first on so many people's list is time. I just don't have time. I don't have time to cook at home. I don't have time to think about what this is going to take. Well, I tend to call BS on that, right? It's a popular excuse, but I just don't buy it. Because here's the deal, we always find time for the things that are a priority to us. So if eating better is actually a priority, like you're saying it is, you're going to find time to do it. And I think you'll find it doesn't actually take a lot longer. Maybe at first, because you're kind of figuring it out and you have to learn some new recipes or get some new information. Okay, that part is going to take a little extra time, but you don't have to do it all at once. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be an expert on this overnight. It isn't going to take you any longer than making the poor food choices. Going to a restaurant and learning how to scan the menu for the best possible option doesn't take that long to learn how to do that. All right, so time. All right, we're moving that. That's not an excuse we're going to use anymore. How about just the motivation to do it? How do you get motivated to really make that change? Well, first, I'd say set some little goals, achievable, measurable goals. I'm going to do this tomorrow, today. I'm going to make this little change. It's so much easier. We can get overwhelmed when we're just going to do it all at once. But if you can set small goals, then you can meet those goals a little bit at a time. Keep a food diary. I say all the time, write it down. If you bite it, write it. That way you can really keep track and see what we're doing. Oh, we can fool ourselves when we just, oh, I'll just remember. You're going to remember every little thing. No, write it down. Discover your why. Really think about, why do you want to make this change? What is it you want? You may have a lot of reasons. That's okay. Write them down, post them on something where you're going to see it every single day, and remind yourself, because we get busy, we get distracted, and we can forget why we're trying to make better choices. We get hungry and we forget all of a sudden why we're trying to make better choices. So post it where you can see it. Have realistic expectations. If you're not being realistic, you're going to get frustrated. Have realistic expectations. If weight loss is your goal, aim for maybe a pound a week. I know we want it all now. We want it fast. We love our instant gratification, but be realistic about what you can achieve. You didn't put all those pounds on overnight. You're not going to take them off overnight. A little bit at a time, and you will see results, and you can celebrate those results. That's what's awesome about having small goals, is because then when you hit that, you can celebrate. Celebrating is fun. And then some of the goals you can focus on are actually the process. Like, celebrate the goal of, I've learned to cook something new at home, or I am now not drinking alcohol on the weekdays. That can be a process goal. Learn maybe to use an air fryer. That was the coolest thing. I was against that because of the word fryer in the name initially, but learning how to use it, wow, what a game changer. Maybe discover one new vegetable each week, and then celebrate that you've discovered something new that maybe you hadn't tried before. And that brings us to knowledge. Changing anything in our life is going to require some new knowledge. And if you truly do not know where to begin, send me a message. You can message me Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of those platforms, wherever you watch my show, or you want to just log in and send me a note, and I will connect you. Websites, health coaches, I have resources that I am happy to share with you on a one-on-one basis so that you can arm yourself with the knowledge to achieve your goals. I want you to be successful. I'm not just here blah, 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 talking just for my own health. And, I want you to get something out of that. So gaining the knowledge of how to eat better will make it so much less overwhelming. And in turn, that will make you more motivated to get started and follow through. And it never hurts to get a friend, a partner who will hold you accountable. Somebody who for real will hold your feet to the fire, okay? So you don't want to push over to be your accountability partner. You want somebody who's going to really hold you to this. And how do I know? Because I went from a 30-something grossly overweight soccer mom, frustrated. I joined Weight Watchers swearing I'm never giving up Diet Coke and I'm never exercising. Those were my absolute, I'll do anything else, but I'm not doing those two things. And now I'm a 54-year-old triathlete who's actually wearing running clothes right now so that as soon as I'm finished here, I can hit the pavement. Yeah, same girl who said I'm never going to exercise. Anything is possible. Ironically, that is the tagline for the Ironman, which takes us into our play segment and the exercise arena. Another area where life can absolutely provide plenty of hurdles. The advice that I just gave you for overcoming hurdles in your diet, well, that same stuff goes for exercise. Make it a priority. Find your motivation. Learn what you need to do. And if you're tuning into this show, well, you're obviously on the right track, right? You're already mentally trying to get your head in the game. So what about for those of us who are already putting in the work? We're doing it. We got our exercise regimen, and then something unexpected interferes. Something like an injury that'll get you every time. And for many, that can be an excuse to quit. But let's go back to our imaginary friend from the top of the show. Wouldn't you tell your friend that giving up is not an option? Of course you would. Of course. In fact, I have been there. Last year, I had a herniated disc in my back that had me ready to throw in the towel. My goal has been, for the past couple of years, working toward completing a full Ironman triathlon. And last year, when I had that disc, that herniated disc, I was in so much pain, and running especially was nearly impossible. I had to miss half of a race season, had to forfeit a race, which was way more expensive than I care to admit. And I just thought my days of running were through. But giving up is not an option. So slowly, safely, I'm coming back. For a while, I just did events that didn't involve running, but little by little, it's coming back. And I don't know yet if I'm really going to be able to keep moving forward with the idea of completing a full Ironman. That goal may be too big, but here's the thing. If our goals don't scare us a little bit, they aren't really big enough. So today, I'm going to run just a little bit. And tomorrow, I'm going to swim a little bit more. And the next day, I'm going to ride my bike a whole bunch. And so it goes. Just keep exploring what your body is capable of. We are stronger than we realize. We really are. Sometimes we just have to evaluate, adjust, and adapt. Those are 3 words I want you to take away from this. No matter if your knees, your shoulders, your overall weight, whatever it is that's keeping you from being able to do a particular type of exercise, evaluate your situation. Adjust your thinking, and then adapt to what your body will allow. Here's what's interesting. When I was about to give up, it wasn't because any doctor told me that I had to stop. Nobody said I had to. It was the mean girl in my head. When I got hurt and it got really, really hard, she said, I told you you'd never be able to do it. You don't have what it takes. Yeah, she's kind of a witch. I remind her, though, that she used to be a fat girl who wouldn't even exercise at all. But I am the one who's completed 3 half Ironmans, 2 full marathons, 2 100-mile bike races, and 10 half marathons, all in the past 3 years since I started this crazy triathlon business. So that mean girl can shut the hell up. That is back to what I promised you at the beginning of the show, the trick to stop that voice that says you can't do it, because we don't need that kind of foolishness. Imagine the situation isn't happening to you. Imagine it's a friend or a family member. They call it zooming out. When I zoom out, as if to advise you, as if to advise my best friend in a similar situation, it removes my emotional ties, my people-pleasing tendencies. It takes all of that emotional garbage, not garbage, it's valid stuff, but it takes all of that out of the picture. And it just becomes a matter of looking at the facts and offering potential outcomes or solutions. This technique comes from a book I read called Chatter. And so if you want to read that book, Chatter, it talks about this zooming out. We get so close to things, don't we? Especially if it's something we're struggling with and we have a lot of emotional ties to. Our brains can get going so many different directions, especially us women, because our brains are spaghetti and everything is connected. But zoom out. I like how my chair, I'm like zooming back and forth, but zoom out and look at it as if you're giving advice to somebody else. And I promise you, it will change your perspective dramatically. So this is your homework assignment. Try zooming out this week. When you catch yourself ruminating about something in your head, it can be a deep emotional issue like a relationship problem, or maybe a more simple decision like deciding a theme for a birthday party. Take you out of the equation and imagine how you would counsel your best friend with this decision. I bet you'll find it changes your perspective and hopefully helps to reduce the chatter and overcome whatever it is that's blocking your path to making a solid decision. Another book recommendation I don't want to forget, a book that I'm using to help quiet that voice and overcome an inability to trust yourself, your decisions. It's called There's a Hole in My Love Cup. It's by Sven Erlandson, and he has got some very hard work, in your face, hard stuff that gets to the heart of the matter. So I recommend get this book. It's called There's a Hole in My Love Cup. And I'm not sponsored by these, but when I read books that really speak to me and I find myself gaining so much peace from it, I have to share it with you. So this one I'll be sharing a lot because holy cow. Yeah. Stuff is happening and you'll be glad you try it. You'll be glad you did. So I am glad that you stuck around for our whole show. Remember, if you'd like more encouragement or healthy tips, you can always find my archive shows on Facebook. I have a lot of them also on YouTube. YouTube, it's Eat, Play, Live with Andy. On Facebook and Instagram, it's eatplaylive.andy. But either way, find me, send me questions, communicate back and forth, and come back next week. Thanks. And until then, remember, challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Peace out, friends.